Welcome to Asian Edu. So today we're going to talk about CSS. So CSS is basically referred as cascading style sheet. So whenever you want to introduce the styling in your HTML document, you have to leverage CSS. When it comes to HTML, it basically renders the structure of the page. It will not include visual elements. It will not include styling. It will not include anything colorful. It will be just plain expression, or let's say plain tags and plain elements. In order to introduce styling elements, we use cascading style sheet, which is referred as CSS. So imagine HTML like a skeleton, and when you add flesh, it is referred as CSS. So CSS is a flesh, HTML is the skeleton. So you render the structure of the website using HTML, and then you leverage CSS to add styling to it. So CSS will add style to your web page. So whenever you're going to see the web page, all that fluidity, all that intuitiveness, it comes from CSS. In order to enhance your UX, you have to leverage CSS. By UX, I mean user experience. So the better you know how to leverage CSS and HTML, the better you can develop the UX, the user experience. So user experience is really important to get the engagement. So if your user experience is really good, then definitely users will engage. If it's not good, then the user will go. They won't be able to understand what's going on. So CSS plus HTML renders a refined web experience. So when you see there's an HTML page, completely HTML, you can read it, you can understand it, but it's not that visually appealing, it's not that visually well formatted. But when we talk about HTML plus CSS, then the content that you see is well formatted, you can easily grasp it, you can understand the context of it, and it's very amazingly placed. So in this course, definitely CSS will be discussed in a very detailed fashion, but first of all we have to understand HTML. Once you understand the HTML, then we will integrate CSS in it. So first comes your HTML page structure. Whenever you're going to even make a template, whenever you're going to go to the production level, first you will create the HTML code. So the first few lessons you're going to see is going to be just HTML. Once the foundation of HTML is developed, then CSS will be progressively introduced. And by this I mean slowly we'll start with the style attribute, then inline styling, then internal styling, and then external styling, so on and so forth. So in simple terms, if you want to explain HTML, CSS, HTML, if you take an example of an human anatomy, it is the skeleton, and when it comes to CSS, it is a flesh. HTML adds structure to the page, it renders structure to the page. CSS is going to render style to the page, it's going to render aesthetics to the page.